If you're sick of breaking promises to yourself, listen, because this isn't just about fat loss. It's not even about the gym. It's about the fact that you don't trust your own word anymore. And if I could show you how to rebuild your standards and identity in the next 180 days without relying on motivation, without starting over or starting every Monday, and without living in that cycle of guilt, shame, and drifting day to day, would that be worth 10 to 15 minutes of your time? Most men don't actually fail because they're lazy. Fail because they've been living on cruise control for so long that the old version of them keeps winning. Maybe you train, but nothing really changes. Maybe you eat good until stress gets involved in your life. Maybe you're functional on the outside, but deep down you're disappointed in yourself. And the scary part is you're getting used to it. You're learning to tolerate the version of life that you don't actually respect anymore. Because if nothing changes, here's what's going to happen. You keep repeating the same week, the same excuses, the same late nights, the same comfort habits, and the body is just a surface level symptom. The deeper consequence is you wake up months from now and you still don't feel like a man with standards, drifting day to day, still second guessing yourself, and still not proud of the man you are. My name is Avi, and I built Primal Fuel Nutrition for this reason. I built it for the man that I used to be. 10 years ago, I didn't even recognize the man in the mirror. I was lost, unconfident, depressed, full of self-hate. And I hit a point where I genuinely didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't need another program. I didn't need a gym membership. I didn't need someone telling me what to eat. I needed someone to believe in me because I couldn't believe in myself. So I ran from my pain. I used drugs to numb the feeling, what I didn't want to face. And that turned into an addiction. Years of chaos, wasted time, broken relationship. And that road led me to crime and eventually into prison. And I'll never forget this moment. One day in prison, I looked at my reflection, made a promise I'll never go back to that man, the man that was lost, ashamed, and feeling like I'm not enough anymore. Here's the part that most men miss. I didn't change because I suddenly felt motivated. I changed because I built standards. I stopped making emotional promises like, I'll change when I feel ready. The time is right. I started taking action even when I didn't feel like it. Small, non-negotiable, daily structure and simple habits. Slowly, something actually happened. My habits changed my identity. The first time in my life, I started building self-respect, not from words, from proof. I'll do what I said I'll do. That's what Primal Fuel Nutrition is. It's not a meal plan. It's not just training. It's a system to rebuild your standards and identity. So your confidence becomes earned and stable. Because confidence doesn't come from hypermotivation. It comes from you following through with your actions. And just so you know, this isn't just theory. I coach men through this exact rebuild. Like JJ, he came to me broken, depressed, no direction and no confidence. Over 12 months, we rebuilt his body from 120 kilos to 100 kilos. And the biggest difference is in charge of his life again. He's back on the dating scene after years of not feeling ready. Like Kenny, he'd let himself go and he didn't feel proud of who he was showing up as a dad. Now he is lean, strong, and living a new standard, showing up for his kids and being the father that the kids actually feel and love. And Riley, he wanted change, but he had no direction. He was on and off. He was misaligned with his habits and vices, running his life. Recomped and dropped body fat, regained muscle, but the biggest shift was his mindset. First time in his life, his habits matched his identity, direction and clarity. So you can see, this isn't just fitness, it's an identity. It's what happens when men stop tolerating their own self-sabotage. This is for men who are 30 to 55 who feel lost right now and who know they're capable of more, but they're stuck in a loop. Start-stop loop, good weeks to blowouts, motivations and it crashes, I'll fix it, and then nothing changes and you're done. You don't want tips. You want a system. And let me be clear, this isn't for everyone. You want a quick 6 to 12 week get shredded fix. If you want motivation instead of standards, refuse accountability, not willing to face the truth about what you've been tolerating for yourself. Because Primal Fuel Nutrition is not comfort. It's a rebuild. 4-system framework of how Primal Fuel Nutrition works. Number 1 is the standards and structure. We build your daily non-negotiables. The minimum standards you hit every day on the stressful days, the shit days, the good days, because your life doesn't change through intensity. It changes through its consistency. Step 2 is nutrition simplified. Simplify food so you stop living in decision fatigue. Animal-based and carnivore style is preferred, simple and effective for many men, but the real goal is consistency, control, and structure. There's no confusion, there's no chaos, there's no I'm just gonna be winging it. Pillar 3 is training that builds a man's strength, training built around progression from beginner to advanced, because a stronger body does something different to a man's mind. It gives him evidence. Step 4 is accountability and KPIs. Weekly and bi-weekly check-ins with me, clear KPI targets to hit with adjustments so you don't just drift and feel like you're on cruise control. So you don't disappear when you have a bad day or a bad week. Because the moment most men need support is the moment they go silent and disappear. We don't do that here. In 180 days, the goal is that you become a man who keeps his word, lives by his standards, doesn't need motivation to act, is proud of the man in the mirror, has direction again, and yes, your body changes as a byproduct of your standards. Not because you just tried harder or trained more, because you finally become consistent. What it looks like in real life, you wake up and you're not negotiating with yourself to either get up. You know what to do every single day. You don't need a perfect day. You just need to hit your standards. Stop self-sabotaging on the weekends. You stop living in guilt cycles, and the confidence you feel isn't fake. It's earned and real. But if you don't fix this, you'll keep trading your self-respect for comfort. You'll keep sacrificing your potential for temporary numbingness. One day, you will realize you spent years tolerating a version of life you never wanted. So here's the next step. You're ready to rebuild your standards and identity. Click the link in the description. I'll ask you a few questions and I'll see if you're a fit, if I can help you, and I'll tell you. If you're not a fit, I'll be honest about that too. Either way, you'll walk away with clarity from our conversation. Just remember, if this hit home, it's because you feel heard and you feel seen, not broken. You're just living below your standards. Looking forward to seeing you, and let's rebuild you from the inside out.